Hello everyone, I would like to remind you that I am a classically trained singer and I've been a songwriter for the past 9 years. I might not be the best and I might not be the worst, but I want to get my songs out there, and obviously, as I said, I am a classically trained singer and I love the art of singing. It would definitely be something that I would like to engage with in the near future. Therefore, I feel it would be an appropriate thing to do, sharing the songs that I have written in the past and obviously attempting to somewhat articulate them in an appropriate fashion. This song is called "The King and the Champion." It's something that I wrote, I think, around 9 years ago. It is a favorite of mine, and I hope that those that are listening to it right now would appreciate it. This is a first reading. It's not a final draft of the song. Obviously, as any draft of any song, there is room for improvement. The idea of what it is that you're trying to present will somehow manifest itself in the future. But this song that I wrote is called "The King and the Champion," and hopefully at some point it will present itself in a final draft and will be done and dusted. But what it is you're going to hear now is obviously some form of a reading of the initial kind of settled draft of the song itself, and obviously as follows. So I'll defeat you like a game of chess, hang you up like the rest. I'll have you joking like a joker, have you smoking cards and poker. Queen of diamonds, jack of hearts, where we begin, where we start. King of clubs and ace of spades, out with a bang, a grenade. Touched by gods, born to rule. Ain't no one's joker, not a fool. The king and the champion, the king and the champion. Open up Pandora's box, burning up, blistering hot. The king and the champion, the king and the champion. Checkmate, the king and the champion, the king and the champion. Mess with me, then I'm a scorpion. Alexander the Great, chief of state. Knock me down to the ground. Something to say, not allowed. A victory has defeated you. Does it feel like deja vu? Now you're gonna ace the queen. He'll spin around a slot machine. Oh, Queen of diamonds, jack of heart, where we begin, where we start. King of clubs and ace of spades, out with a grenade, touched by gods, born to rule. Ain't no one's joker, not a fool. The king and the champion, the king and the champion. Open up Pandora's box, burning up, blistering hot. The king and the champion. Checkmate. The king and the champion, the king and the champion. Wanna know how I got that power? I'm the king of the regiment, a champion in my element. I wonder if it's checkmate because you've got nothing to play. Yeah, my name is Phoenix and you don't believe it. Phoenix is a scientific stage name, by the way. So now it's Empire because I'm one of fire. The king and the champion, the king and the champion. Open up Pandora's box, burning up, blistering hot. The king and the champion, the king and the champion. Checkmate. The king and the champion, the king and the champion. I'm the king and then I'm the champion. Mess with me, then I'm the scorpion. Sting you, it's checkmate. Alexander the Great, chief of state. The king and the champion, the king and the champion. Open up Pandora's box, burning up, blistering hot. The king and the champion, the king and the champion. Checkmate. The king and the champion, the king and the champion. Now, as I said originally, this is a first reading of the song. It's not the complete and utter finished version. Obviously, there is an intro. Obviously, the first verse, the chorus, the bridge, the M8, and obviously the outro, and obviously the verses and things between. So this is just a initial reading of the song of the King and the Champion that I wrote myself. It's not finalized. This is just kind of like the immediate impression of what the song would be. A very strong basis of lyrics, but obviously as time goes on, a more fermented and cemented understanding of, the lyrics will be obviously established. What does the song entail on the second chorus, the third chorus? How will the outro be? What is the intro going to be? How are we going to establish the kind of, the M8, if you will, these sorts of things. But, what you've heard now is obviously a very loose version of what a song should be. So, as I said, it's called The King and the Champion. A song I wrote myself. I would argue that it's reasonably finished, but obviously, there is room for revision. But I hope you enjoyed my first reading of it, and obviously hope to share more based on what the song can sort of present itself with.